Buying a new house or condo is a lot of work, and there's so many steps, so many moving parts, and there's a lot of emotion involved. Of course, people are happy and excited, they're frustrated, they're scared, they're nervous, and they just want to make sure everything gets done. And sometimes in the process of doing that, sometimes the buyers will try to simplify the process, maybe cut corners a little bit, and that is okay. But by doing that, in the end, there can be issues with it. You really need to consider how you set up your home, how you set up paperwork and everything, so that if something unexpected happens, there isn't going to be further heartache and frustration and headache on top of heartache. Now, this video may not get as many views as a lot of my other ones, and that's okay, but I really think this is a super important video. So it doesn't matter how old you are, where you live, if you bought recently or it's been, over 10 years since you've purchased a property. It doesn't matter if you're married or single. This is a super important video for everybody to watch. Hi, I'm Jill Thomas. I'm a real estate agent here in Sarasota, Florida. And each week I bring videos about what it's like to live in Florida. And then also we talk about real estate here. So I hope this is a help to you. So you might be thinking, Jill, what are you talking about? Unexpected heartache, sadness. Well, this is what happened is in the last few years, I've had some couples come down here who were so excited about starting a new life in Florida, just had big dreams, big plans, saved, planned, did everything. And they come down here, and then within months after closing on their home, one of the spouses passed away. And keep in mind, these people were in their 50s. This was not things that were expected, totally unexpected. And now dealing with these folks afterwards and hearing their story and the things they've had to deal with that were so heartbreaking, so difficult, so challenging to them. I want to share some things with you to help with that, because things can happen, and not just death, but maybe there's a car accident or there's serious health issues. And so you want to make sure things are in order so that it can be a help to your loved ones or a help to you if something tragic does happen to one of your loved ones. So I want to share with you some really practical, basic, very important steps and give you some ideas of things to put in place to help minimize that. And like I said, I know this isn't a very exciting topic. It's quite sad, actually, very somber, but I do think it's important. And like I said, doesn't matter if you're married, single, how old you are, where you live, please listen up. Number one, there's always one. Now, it seems like when I work with couples, when they want to buy a property, it seems like one person takes the lead and I talk to them way more than the other person. Maybe they have a better handle on finances, or that's just kind of like where their brain's at. They handle a lot of the bills. They take care of all of those little details. And sometimes I never talk to the other person, or just talk to them a little bit, or maybe if I actually physically show them properties, I'll see them there. And that's just kind of the way it is. And it doesn't mean that the other person is ignorant or dumb or anything like that, but that's just how they handle their lives. You take care of these things, I take care of those things. Makes sense, right? So that's super normal. It seems like just it's one person takes care of these types of things and this other person takes care of those, and there's not always a whole lot of overlap. And of course, if you're flying solo in these situations, you take care of everything all by yourself. So then, as a result, it has been my experience that it's not unusual that the person who is more familiar with those household details will sometimes just put everything in their name when they go to set it up, when they buy a property. Maybe they get the electric is in their name, the water is in their name, internet and cables in their name, all of those little things just out of ease, not because there's a problem with the other person. It's just way easier. And they think, well, later on, we'll get it straightened out. We'll get it taken care of. Now, of course, the mortgage, the deed, is probably usually in both people's names, sometimes not, but usually in both persons' names. And, but all those little stuff just happens to be in one person's name. But then sadly, with the recent deaths of some of my customers, the person who passed away was that lead person. And all those utilities in both cases just happened to be in that person's name alone. So again, the electric, the water, internet, they knew where all the paperwork was. They knew all the account numbers for everything. They knew about the insurance and who was taking care of this and that. And again, they thought they'd have time to take care of things later. And in my situations that I experienced, the person passed away like 3 to 4 months after they closed on the home. So it was pretty quick. We're not talking years. It was months. They were just still unpacking and getting settled into these homes. So like I said, it's not unusual if there is one person taking the lead. So number 2, I recommend that you put both spouses' names on everything. It's really important that if you are married, to put both spouses' names on everything as it makes sense, and make sure that both people understand or have access to that information. Maybe use each of your email addresses or create a household email address. So everything that you do in terms of utilities and insurance and all those things, both people can see and have access to, so there won't be a problem later on. In my situations with my customers, when I talked to them after the fact, all of them shared things about utilities because everything was in the other person's name, and that became a problem. So here you're in shock. They're grieving tremendously over this loss. And now they have to deal with utilities, so the electric and the water doesn't get turned off because sometimes they didn't know, is it on auto pay? Are they paying the bill every month? Are they going online and logging in and doing it? They had no clue. So now you're talking getting death certificates and having to retell the story over and over and over again. It was really hard on everybody. Please know that sometimes when a couple buys a house, the mortgage is just going to be in one person's name for whatever reason, but you can still have both people on the deed. So there's different things that you can do and set it up. But I do recommend trying to get everybody's name on everything as it makes sense. If you're not sure about something, because everybody does have different situations, unique scenarios, ask an attorney, ask an accountant, ask other professionals on how you should set up certain things, and then ask, okay, what would happen if this person passes away? How do we handle that? What will that look like? And have those conversations up front so you can deal with it, because if something unexpected does happen, you can have a better handle on what the consequences are going to be, and then just really how you can handle things and get it all straightened out. Number 3, passwords and email addresses. Of course, all of us have a never-ending list of usernames and passwords for everything, whether it's for your mortgage, for bank accounts and different investments, or just things as simple as like your Amazon account or Kohl's. Okay, we all have just lists and lists of passwords. And so it's really important that you have a system with your spouse to set it up that you guys can know each other's passwords on things, so you can help out, you can jump in. And like I said, it's not even always just a death, but what if somebody was in a car accident? What if they were hospitalized for a while? What if they were just terribly ill for a long time and just didn't have the mind space to deal with these things? And so you've got to be able to jump in and help out and take care of those things. So you want to know, what's that information? Where is it at? I think that there's also some apps out there or programs where they can store passwords. I don't know how reliable they are. I have never experienced or used one, but there's other systems out there that maybe you could use to help out with that. And as I already mentioned, you might want to consider maybe having a joint email, like if both you and your spouse have their own email addresses, have a joint one just for those special things, for those utilities, for all different types of insurance that you might have, and for banking. And then that way, everybody has access to that information. It's all going to the same place. And then for you single folks out there, you need to find somebody that you can really trust, a good friend, a family member. Have those lists, have that information available, hide it somewhere in your house, and let that person know. Review that with them. Say, here's all of my important documents, here's all my important information. And then if something does happen to me, again, it could be a car accident, you could be hospitalized for a couple of weeks for something, then things can move on and you're not going to find yourself in a bigger mess on top of what you're going through already. And honestly, even married folks, it wouldn't be a bad idea to share that with somebody else. Share it with a family member, a child, a good friend, somebody you can really trust. Because what if the two of you were in a car accident or the two of you passed away all of a sudden? It's nice to have that information available for somebody to jump in and help out. Because I know even like with my own folks, if when we've had these conversations and we're kind of working on it a little bit, it's like, guys, if something happens to you, I need to know where's what. I've got to be able to jump in and help out and take care of things. So all of a sudden, the electricity isn't turned off at your house or something like that. So let's have a game plan. Let's get it going and let's share that information with each other. Number 4, bills and other contacts. The next thing I suggest is you make a list of all of your bills that get paid. How frequently do they get paid? Is it monthly, quarterly, annually? How do they get paid? Is it on auto payment? Do you need to initiate the payment? How do you go about doing that? Are there account numbers that need to be listed? PIN numbers? Again, we've got those usernames and passwords we were talking about before. List all of those things. Try to be as complete as possible. Then, are there any accounts that could be canceled right away if necessary, is like Netflix or Amazon or a gym membership? What could you just do without right away under certain circumstances? Don't forget credit cards, of course, bank accounts. Think about who or what else is important. Think about all of the insurance you might have, whether it's life, health, auto, your homeowner's insurance. Let's say if you have an Aflac account, you want to be able to take advantage of that Aflac benefits if that's the case. Think about your accountants, attorneys, lawn care, pest care, maybe you have a housekeeper, your homeowners association. There are so many things that go along with this. Maybe you want to have like your pastor's information, your church written down as well, so somebody can have access to that. So have a really good, strong conversation with those in your household. And then, like I said, even if you're married or single, have that conversation with people outside of your household. So that is all super accessible and you're covering all your bases. You're not missing a thing. And then other important paperwork, maybe like the deed to your house, the title to your car, your will, things like that. If you have any health directives, make sure everything is super accessible, the right kind of copies that the professionals would need if something tragic does happen. Number 5, then you need to update your list. This is going to be a lot of work to put together. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy. It's things that people think, oh yeah, I know I need to do this, but we never do. So once you do get that list together, you really need to reevaluate it, I would say at least once a year, if not more frequently as things change. Or if you can think about it as you do add a new account, you're paying for something new, or you take something off, try to remember to go in there and update. But if you can remind yourself to update it annually at least, that would be a huge help. And then keep in mind, if you're a trustworthy friend, family member, other person you're going to lean on outside of your home moves away or something changes in their life, find a new buddy to help with all of that stuff. Again, I know this isn't a lot of fun to set up. I have this conversation now more often with people when I'm showing them properties because I'll share these stories with them and I'll give them a little bit more detail than what I'm sharing in this video right now because, of course, I don't want to make too much stuff public. But people all the time, yes, I've got to do that. My husband and I, we have so many different passwords and it's just in our heads and, oh my goodness. So you've got to settle down and get it done. It's not a lot of fun, but boy, you're really showing love to your loved ones by getting things in order and making things easier for them if something does happen to you. And of course, try to encourage your loved ones, like I do with my parents, to put those things in order so it'll be a help and you can, really take care of them when the rubber meets the road. Okay, so like I said at the beginning of the video, I know this is not the most exciting topic to discuss, but I do think it is so important because I'm hearing and seeing more of these things each year. So if this could have helped 1-2 people, then it's worth it. So please just take the time, make yourself a deadline, say this is when I'm gonna have these things complete or start working on them, and then it'll just be such a relief to you and to your loved ones. Now, if there's something that I missed, which I'm sure I did, because everybody's got different lifestyle, different set of circumstances, please drop it in the comments below, because that would be such a help to other people as well. Or if you have a story to share, please put that down below, because like I said, I just want to be a help to folks. And then with that being said, if there's anything else I can do for you, please call, text, email me. I've got links below in the description with little forms you can fill out, however you'd like to reach out to me. If I can answer some of your questions about real estate, or some of these other things, I'm happy to do so. If I can't answer your questions, I can direct you to the right people. So anything I can help you with, real estate or otherwise, I'm here for you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.